I'm on a consistent run. Like I said, man, I'm on a consistent run. I'm doing this thing here called consistency. You feel me? Gotta do what I gotta do. Man, I'm gonna go on here, react to some says, man. Y'all know I like to do these twisted crime joints. Why? It's because I like to watch them anyway. I might as well go and get my reaction and talk to y'all about it. Let me go ahead, share my screen up. Like I say, like my video, comment, subscribe, come back, come back every time. Just don't watch this one. Come back. Hey, come back. Come back. On some real shit. Let me go and get into this video. If you don't like my videos, you don't have to be here. You don't have to stay and watch them. But I'd appreciate if you stayed and watch my videos and you come back again. Know what I'm talking about? But now let me go ahead and shut this up on some real serious business. On some real serious business. Go and get into this.
Oh, this bitch down. No, we all nigga. 30 in the morning. We shut the bar down, baby. All right, I see tomorrow. You already know we all. No, we all, man. We the mafia. We the mob. New mob.
Yo, Club Status got Dollar Lamb Chop today. Come through about 7 o'clock. I'm gonna have them on the grill. Dollar Lamb Chop. You got $5 Hennessy, $5 Grey Goose, $5 mixed drink.
No one could be in want. Just had a very genuine gentleman personality. Just a real Detroiter.
And right now, that's how friends are remembering Detroit restaurant owner Michael Brown, better known as Mike B. He was killed in a triple shooting outside a West Side bar over the weekend.
This is the story of Michael Brown, known to many people in Detroit simply as Mike B., a restaurant owner whose life would come to a sudden and violent end during the early hours of a night that, at first, seemed completely ordinary. For years, Michael had been building a name for himself in Detroit. Running a restaurant in a busy city isn't easy. It takes long hours, patience, and the ability to deal with challenges that most people never see. But Michael had managed to do it. His restaurant had become a familiar place in the community, somewhere people could come together, share a meal, and forget about the stresses of the day. His business got a lot of reviews from people who appreciated what he did.
What's up, y'all? I was due for a girls' night, so me and the girls hit it to Sloppy Chops. There go my girl Kennedy waiting on us at the bar, and you already know we had to find us some food on their menu. They had great picks. I had to go and check on the chef, make sure he was cooking it up, okay? We was having us a ball. We did us some shots. We had us a good little time, got ready to eat some food. And when I tell y'all, the food was so good. Like, let's get into it. Them steak bites were tea. Mac and cheese never missed.
Ain't gonna lie, it look good. The aesthetics of the place, all that look marvelous, bro. It's crazy.
Yeah. But we had us a great little time, had us a nightcap, and baby, that was all I needed to top the rest of my night off. Make sure y'all check out Sloppy Chops. You will not be disappointed.
He did not just do that. He also helped everyone he could help, including young kids.
Man, you know we a little homie, so you know we gonna rock it, dog. Try to club bang.
Yeah, I don't know, man, because I ain't had no rap stuff up here, man, since Dynasty, you know what I'm saying?
You need to have the rap stuff up here. That's the most stuff that hanging in the streets right now.
Yeah, so we changed the status. I'm trying to keep the status. So we all have that status to perform that status.
Man, we feel you, though.
Feel you, but we gonna have it that you best believe we gonna rock that. We know that.
Man, we don't have a whole key, you don't have a line going out throughout the whole parking lot, man. You know how we do.
Y'all gonna have the women here?
Let's do that.
Y'all gonna have the club jam packed?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna let y'all do it one time.
That's what's up. After we done, it's gonna be called Club Pack.
For sure. One time, baby.
All right.
Friends say he was proud of what he had built. For him, the restaurant wasn't just a business. It represented years of work, sacrifice, and determination. It was proof that he had created something meaningful for himself and the people around him. He was an hard-working man. He also knew a lot of people.
Hey, what's happening? It's your boy Big Scrap. You already know what it is, man. After party tonight, man. You already know what it is. Sloppy Crab, man. Shout out to Mike B and Mike. You know what I'm talking about? From go up. It's the committee. You feel me?
But what happened one morning would bring all of that to an abrupt and tragic end. Because on that night, something happened outside a bar on Detroit's west side that investigators would later spend weeks trying to understand. And the question that continues to follow the case is simple. What exactly happened in the moments before Michael Brown was shot? The night had started like so many others. People gathered inside the bar, music played, conversations filled the room, and the atmosphere carried the familiar energy of a late night in the city. As the hours passed, the crowd slowly began to thin out. By the time the clock approached 4:30 in the morning, many people were starting to leave. Outside, the air had that quiet feeling that cities often get just before sunrise. Conversations continued on the sidewalk. Some people were waiting for rides. Others were heading toward their cars. For a few brief moments, everything seemed normal. Then suddenly, gunfire shattered the quiet. Witnesses would later describe the sound of multiple shots echoing through the street. The peaceful early morning calm disappeared instantly as people ran for cover, trying to understand what was happening. In the confusion that followed, 3 people had been struck by gunfire. 2 of them survived. Michael did not. And within minutes, the scene outside the bar had transformed into an active homicide investigation. Police officers arrived quickly, securing the area and placing yellow tape around the scene. Emergency responders attempted to help the victims while detectives began the careful process of documenting what had happened. Every homicide investigation.
Like, what's the odds? You doing something, of course, for financial gain, but to also do something to bring, you would think, peace, good eats, good atmosphere to your your neighborhood, or I don't know where you're from, but just to your city, you know what I'm saying? And you pass from that. It's unfortunate, It's unfortunate, but man, you just never know when it's your time. And sure, he was a good dude. You could tell like a little bit from him trying to help the community, help the kids, bring something positive. But I'm wondering if, because I want a bar and grill myself. I wonder if liquor is the problem. I wonder if liquor the problem. It's like a cause and effect. Because man, this is tragic. It's just crazy. Like sad.
Begins the same way. Investigators look at the scene, gather evidence, and start asking questions. But in this case, the answers were far from clear. Because one detail immediately stood out. No one seemed to know exactly why the shooting happened. Was Michael the intended target?
Right.
Or had he simply been caught in the wrong place at the wrong time? Witnesses described confusion in the moments after the shots were fired. Some
It's like, do you keep? So what if like the bad apple was one of your people, like one of your family members or whatever? So you can't really say do you keep the bad apples out of the bunch? You don't really know. Like, how do you just really can't avoid things like this, man.
said they saw people running away from the area. Others said they only heard the gunfire but never saw the person responsible. Situations like this make investigations extremely difficult. In chaotic moments, people's memories can become unreliable. What one witness remembers may not match what another person saw or heard. So detectives began looking for something that often becomes the most valuable piece of evidence in modern investigations: surveillance footage. Businesses and buildings nearby sometimes have cameras that capture the street. These cameras can show who was present, who arrived, who left, and sometimes even the moment when a crime occurs. Investigators began reviewing footage from the surrounding area, hoping to piece together the timeline of events that led to the shooting. Because somewhere in those final minutes before the gunfire, something must have happened. An argument, a confrontation, or perhaps something else entirely. As news of the shooting spread across Detroit, people who knew Michael struggled to process what had happened. Friends began sharing memories of the man they had known. To them,
Especially when you're a good dude, it's hard to kind of gather your thoughts and think, man, because I got some great people in my life. They be in the scene quite often. And, I'm just thinking about it, like thinking if I was to ever get some news like that, given, the circumstances of like them being outside partying, right place, just wrong time, because, they there for the right reasons to party, enjoy their stuff, enjoy their life. But, you don't know what's going on outside of here and shit. Just so happen like they walking out or whatever. And you know what I'm saying? Or walking out with them who the intended target and they caught in a crossfire. Like you just never know. You know what I'm saying? It's just sad as hell, man.
Mike B was more than just a restaurant owner. He was someone who had worked hard to create opportunities for himself and the people around him. His restaurant had become a place where the community gathered. A place where people could relax, talk, and feel connected to their neighborhood. Now that place carried a much heavier meaning, because the man who built it was gone, and the circumstances surrounding his death remained unclear.
No one could be in want, just had a very genuine gentleman personality, just a real Detroiter.
And right now, that's how friends are remembering Detroit restaurant owner Michael Brown, better known as Mike B. He was killed in a triple shooting outside a West Side bar over the weekend. Now, as friends mourn, some community leaders are renewing calls for the city to crack down on after-hour spots.
The triple shooting happened around 4:30 a.m. Saturday outside Suite 100 near Finkel and Schaefer, and 2 other people survived. Detroit police are still looking for a suspect.
With the after-hour joints, half the time they already off whatever they was taking all day, like, or probably been drinking all day, and you ain't in your right mind, you ain't coherent, and you don't really know what you got going on. And it's a lot of situations that happen like that because you've been drinking all day. You ain't give yourself no time to rest. Drink some water, electrolytes. Stop and put that blunt down. It's stuff like that take place when you've been partying all day long. And I don't go to after hours no more. When I was young and I was outside kicking it a lot, I used to go to after hours. I went to after hour one time with my cousin. And I left after that because it was just so smoked out. People just in there, just wasn't for me. Like, at a certain age, I think a lot of people should practice going home. Like it's okay to go home at 1 or 2 o'clock. Shit, maybe before that. Like you don't gotta be out all night just because the after hour is there. You don't gotta be there. You don't gotta be present. You don't gotta be there.
Lauren Kostick joins us live. And Lauren, one person who knew him says Mike B was just the kind of guy who always made sure people were taken care of.
That's exactly right. It's clear how much he meant to this community. So many people are posting on social media, sharing memories and honoring his legacy. Also, at the same time, Detroit police here at the 2nd Precinct are trying to find the person or people responsible for this triple shooting. And community leaders are saying this shooting is also raising a lot of questions about bars after hours. A father and successful business owner shot and killed over the weekend in Detroit.
Detroit loves him. He was a real Detroiter who was about people, community, and about uplifting life.
Michael Brown, better known as Mike B, was shot Saturday morning around 4:30 outside Suite 100 near Finkel and Schaefer on the city's west side. 2 others were hurt but survived.
I'm thinking he was outside his establishment. He was outside Suite 100.
As of Monday, no one has been arrested. Mike B was a staple in Detroit's hospitality and entertainment scenes for decades, known for his restaurants, including Sloppy Chops and Sloppy Crab. Messages and memories have been pouring in on social media, including this tribute from a local restaurant critic calling the news heartbreaking. But his legacy extended far beyond food and nightlife. He cared deeply for his community.
It was embedded in him, and you can feel it in his food, in his restaurant, and his demeanor when you approach him. Very approachable. Just love the city of Detroit, love his people.
Now, his death is sparking renewed calls for an ordinance on after-hour establishments, limiting how late businesses can operate in neighborhood areas. New Era Detroit posted this video over the weekend.
Enjoy yourself, have a good time with your people, and then go home.
Yes,
it's that simple. Go home.
And Pastor Mo agrees, saying it's time the city stepped in.
We're definitely probably going to see an ordinance come down. And we're going to make sure that from a community standpoint, we're going to make sure we have our foot on that too.
Yeah. I think,
Again, so many people posting about Mike B tonight. We also spoke to his.
I think this should be nationwide. Like, I think it should be all over. Not just city to city, state to state. I think everybody needs to crack down on the after hours, because bad enough is so many hours in between with craziness going on. You don't know what people's mental state is, all type of stuff. Like I said, it goes back to one of the videos I did where, you just don't know where what people like be thinking. Like, you could just get into it with somebody, and like I said, with us, with brown skin people, we tend to not like, the thought of being punked. You get punked, it's World War III, and ain't no end to it. We got to show and prove, and sometimes it really don't be worth it. Let motherfucker live to see another day. Just words.
Brother earlier today, but understandably, he is still trying to process all of this. We also reached out to DPD. All they could tell us is that this investigation remains ongoing and that there are no new updates. Of course, anyone with information is asked to call 1-800-SPEAK-UP.
When violent crimes occur in public places, they often leave behind more than just physical evidence. They leave behind unanswered questions. Who was responsible? What led to the violence? And could it have been prevented? Detectives continued their investigation, trying to reconstruct every moment of that night. They spoke with witnesses. They reviewed surveillance footage. They examined evidence collected from the scene. Each step brought them closer to understanding what happened. But investigations like this rarely move quickly. Sometimes it takes weeks, sometimes months. For Michael's family, every day without answers only made the loss more difficult.
I can tell you that I did speak with a few people, but there were messages upon messages online pouring out of love and memories and thank yous of Michael Brown, who owns Sloppy Chops behind me. They're getting the message of his death rocking the community all throughout Detroit. Let's take a good look at him because he is beloved and missed by so many. This is Michael Brown, also known as Mike B. That's what many people called him, both in his restaurants and outside the restaurants. He was known for Sloppy Chops and Sloppy Crab. Those were his establishments, his places, and many say that the food was good, but it was his heart. That's what stood out the most. Detroit police say 3 people were shot at 4:30 in the morning on Saturday on Pilgrim Street and Schaefer Highway. Mike B, again, as many people called him, died of his injuries. Messages, as I said, have been pouring in since it all happened, saying he was a great father, great husband, and overall mountain of a man.
Very well loved, respected. He was an asset to our community. He fed us good. He even went past food to do community service and to help community organizations and people. No one could be hungry around him, could be in need around him.
He stood up and supported the community, specifically around hunger. He always did things to make sure that people had food, that he would say that there's no young person that's going to be hungry as long as I'm around. So he would do things. And then I remember either it was last year or the year before last, that there was a tragic thing that happened at one of his restaurants. And he was just there 10 toes down for that person and that family and that community.
So many people posting, sharing memories, just like you heard there. Now, police tell us that they are looking for the suspects, and they're asking anyone with tips and information to please reach out to them as soon as possible. Call.
When someone you love is taken suddenly, the pain is overwhelming. But the uncertainty can make it even harder, because until the truth is known, the story remains unfinished. And that's what investigators were trying to change. They were searching for the person responsible for the shooting. Somewhere out there, someone knew what had happened. Someone knew why the gunfire started. And someone knew the truth behind those final moments outside the bar. The challenge was finding that person, because behind every crime lies.
What if it's a twist? Like, he knew everybody. What if somebody he knew, got into it with somebody and they don't want to come forward because shit could have been due to them? You just never know. I'm speculating right now. Allegedly speaking, I'm,
A sequence of decisions, choices that lead from one moment to the next until everything changes. For detectives, the goal is always the same. Follow the evidence, reconstruct the timeline, and uncover the truth. But until that happens, the story of Michael Brown remains incomplete.
Yeah, man, I'm gonna go ahead, pretty much end it right here. I'm gonna say, Lord, I don't know what it means when my left. It's like I look it up, and it just say I need sleep. Like what if my left eye has been bumping? I told y'all I ain't got my glass. I need some glasses, and my eye could be like this. Don't judge me. Don't judge me. That's why I be on here with my sunglasses, because I need some glasses. My eyes be, doing this thing. But my girl ain't complaining. Yeah. But yeah, man. For on a serious tip, I pray for his family, his kids, most importantly. And I'm wondering if, because sometimes we don't think about things like this because we don't expect any tragic situations to take place. So I don't know if he, set anybody up to take charge of his businesses. I'm sure he probably wanted them to, be given to his kids when he do go eventually, from probably, I'm sure from old age. Everybody want to go at old age, but I'm sure he probably set something up like that. But you know, at a certain age, I'm wondering if he was married, he had a sister or mom he trusted to kind of put those measurements into place. I know if I ever left this earth, it'll be between my mom and my future wife. God forbid if anything was to happen to me, but of course, those people would be great people to take charge. My brother would be another too, There's things like that, It's sad. It's sad. It's sad. It's sad, man. Like I said, I'm gonna pray for his family. It seemed like it's gonna be another part to this because they got an open investigation with his case, trying to figure out who live sloppy chops owner. I'm out. I appreciate you for sitting here with me and taking your time to watch the video. I wish that you come back again and again and again and again for hours and hours, if it's hours. But man, check back with me. I got more to come. I did so many videos, unlimited. Like, comment, subscribe. Come back to Monet TV. We out. We out.